not alone. Welcome home. God by many names, love from many hearts. Come inside, you don't have to hide. You're perfect as you are. You're already not alone. Welcome home. God by many names, love from many hearts. Come inside, you don't have to hide. You're perfect as you are. You're already not alone. Welcome home. You're already not alone. Welcome home. Thank you. I think we're just testing right there, right? We're going to go on the air in a minute. Hi, everybody. We're on the air. I'd like to introduce Reverend Joe Kovach.
Whoa. Bueller. Good morning and happy Mother's Day to all. God, what a beautiful day out. Day it is outside. It was a beautiful ride up. As my wife said, it was very scenic today, just like that perfect amount of sunshine where it wasn't blinding and you could just take in the ride. So it was actually, I would say, a mellow ride up as opposed to one where you're just trying to get there and so I can come here and get on time. So welcome. I'm looking around. I don't see anybody new for the first time, but I will say it is excellent to see each and every one of you. So happy day. That being said, because most of it is a meet and greet, why don't we get a little instrumental and let's just meet and greet for a minute or two, and welcome to everybody online at home. So please just introduce yourself or say hello to the person next to you or across the aisle. All right. Thank you. This is why we're here, my friends and family, our community, to build these relationships of like-mindedness. So thank you so much. I do want to point out that our volunteers today, we have Alan on music, so let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Alan. We have Christy on sound tech. Marina on kind of everything else tech. So everybody at home, thank Marina and Diane for setting up and Bill for setting up. Thank you. Did I miss anybody? Is that really important? No, yes. Thank you for being here. We are blessed to have somebody that not only knows what they're doing with our treasure and money, but understands our philosophy. And it's so important. You're in such an alignment with the truth of who we are, our vision. So thank you, absolutely. And I don't want to forget Anna because she was at the front table greeting everybody. So thank you. All right, so we've thanked everybody. Let's go into song number 1, shall we?
We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts forevermore. One more time. We are all friends here. There are no strangers when you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. Hey, we hold you in our hearts the way you are. Bless you.
I'm glad I wasn't on mic. Ooh, excuse me. You know what? I'm just realizing I don't have the Flames of Faith script up here. Should be in back. Because I left it up here for Rachel. So, okay. Well, here's what we're going to do. I want to do something a little different once in a while anyway. So, what I'd like to do is a little spiritual practice. When we think of oneness, what's another word that hits your heart when we think about wholeness or oneness, other than those words? Just a couple ideas. Rick? Unity. All right. So obviously unity is our word. So what I'm going to ask everybody is let's just take, how about unity? I would rather go with unity. Okay. So what I'm going to ask us to do is simply close our eyes and begin to breathe at a nice pace. If you can, take a nice 4-second or 4-count breath through your nose. Hold it for 1, and slowly release. And as we're breathing, we breathe in. We're breathing in the unity of all life. And as we breathe out, we're giving it right back. For we recognize that spirit is changeless and infinite. So let's just continue to breathe and focus on unity. One more minute. Feel it in your whole body. Okay. On this last breath, let's breathe in deeply and exhale deeply, affirming that unity, we are aligned with that, and so it is. Thank you.
Yes. So we're going to sing a little bit, and then Bill's going to come up, offer our invocation. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am precious, a child of the one. I'm not too little or too much. I'm not too little or too much. I'm not too little or too much. I am enough just as I am. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am precious, a child of God.
Good morning and happy Mother's Day to all. Please join me in this invocation. I know that we start today's service in the presence of the one true power in this universe, the only true one thing that is going on in this world, in the presence of God. And I know that that God is the pure example and the standard setter for love. And that love includes that love of self that Alan was just singing about, that we are worthy of our own love. I know that I am one with this tremendous power that we call God, that I call God. I know that just as that is true, I know it is true for everyone within the sound of my voice and in this room right now or online watching, whenever that is. I know that today's service is blessed. I know that the message that Reverend Joe speaks is from the heart and is divinely channeled and is enlightening. I know that the music that Alan plays strikes just the right chord and just the right spirit with each and every one of us. And I know that all the work that goes on to make this service what it is seamless and perfect. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be together. I'm grateful for the mothers in this world that make life possible and worthwhile. And I'm grateful for the opportunity for us to be together, and I'm grateful for Spirit's work in my life. So I just release my word to the law of God, knowing it is already done, and it's already right. And so it is.
So it is. Well, I'll stand up and speak my truth. I stand up and speak my truth. I stand strong and speak my truth. I am strong and express myself. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am precious, a child of God. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am a light of God. I am a light of God.
So today's topic is about boundaries. And as I looked at the topic, I thought, I'm sure that there's some people out there who have had a lot to say about boundaries, and it's certainly something that in the past I have struggled to create on my own. This is from Brene Brown, and she does some really interesting studies down at the University of Houston, and hopefully some of you have heard from her. I think she's pretty bright. As our calendars swell with obligations, it's important to recommit to one thing that can help keep us sane: boundaries. The moment somebody asks you to do something you don't have the time or inclination to do is fraught with vulnerability. Yes often seems like the easiest way out, but it comes at a price. You can't tell how many times I've said, sure, in my squeaky, I can't believe I'm doing this voice, only to spend hours, even months, feeling angry and resentful. For women, there's a myth that we're supposed to do it all and do it perfectly. Saying no cues a chorus of inner shame gremlins. Who do you think you are? You're not a very caring mother, wife, friend, colleague. Daring to set boundaries is about having the courage to love ourselves, even when we risk disappointing others. We can't base our own worthiness on others' approval, and this is coming from someone who spent years trying to please everyone. Only when we believe, deep down, that we are enough can we say enough. So she has three parts to what she calls the dare. The first one is make a mantra, something to hold on to literally during those awkward moments when the ask hangs in the air. So what she did is she bought a silver ring that she spins while silently repeating, choose discomfort over resentment. And her mantra reminds her that she's making a choice that's critical for her well-being, even if it's not easy. The second thing she does is she keeps a resentment journal. And I think that's pretty cool. I've heard of gratitude journals, but never a resentment journal. Whenever she's marching around muttering cuss words under her breath, she grabs what she lovingly refers to as her damn it diary and writes down what's going on. And she notices that she's most resentful when she's tired and overwhelmed, i.e. not setting boundaries. And the third and last one is rehearse. And in her words, I'll often say to no one in particular, I can't take that on, or my plate is full, to the mirror. Like many worthwhile endeavors, boundary setting is a practice and a valuable one. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. I made a mantra this morning. For you that weren't here, about 10 minutes before the service was due to start, we started blowing circuit breakers. We had no power. Well, that one speaker had power, but we weren't giving it anything to go with. So I ran home, got some cords, and got back. We had power. I got the power. I got the power to make all my dreams come true. I got the power, there ain't nothing I can't do. I got the power to do anything I want. I got the power inside of me. I got the power inside of me. Every day when I'm tired thinking that no one else is gonna do it all for me, I got to get up, and get started. Take one step toward my destiny. Define my direction with clear intention. Declare what will be and watch it come to me, because I got the power to make all my dreams come true. I got the power, there ain't nothing I can't do. I got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me. I got the power inside of me. There are days when I feel I'm no good, days when I don't even want to try. But when I look up, listen, and surrender, I hear a voice of truth I can't deny. It says, you know what, you can do it. Just get down to it. Have faith in yourself, and you will see it through. I guess now I got the power to do anything come true. I got the power, there ain't nothing I can't do. I got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me. I got the power inside of me. In those times when I feel frightened and it seems like I just can't go on, I've got to look inside, that's where I find it. The power, the power, the power inside of me. Hey, I got the power to make all my dreams come true. I got the power, there ain't nothing I can't do. I got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me. I got the power inside of me. I got the power to make all my dreams come true. I got the power, there ain't nothing I can't do. I got the power to be anything I want. I got the power inside of me. I got the power inside of me. I got the power inside of me.
Round of applause for Alan, reminding us we have the power inside of us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to start out with some fun. New topic this month, which is raising your voice. And last week we began to talk about self-advocacy. And at the same time, it happened to be May 4th, and may the force be with you. And it was interesting that this information came out afterwards, but I think it's pretty freaking amazing, so I'm going to share it with you. I can't look over there, so I've got to make sure that we go here. Who's that? That is George Lucas, and that is his adopted son. This picture was taken back on March 21st, 1999. Now, why is this picture so freaking cool? Let me share a little zoom in for you. I don't know if you can see that, but the book highlighted is none other than The Science of Mind. Now, I'm going to read to you from people who literally interacted with George Lucas because he went to their center. So his adopted son's name is Jet, and he took specific time. According to this, he took more time arranging the books so what could be seen than he did in the actual interview. And so Reverend David Walker talked to him, and he says, as I recall, George Lucas came to a service one Sunday, and afterwards he spoke to Dr. Walker. David asked him about seeing the Science of Mind textbook in his bookcase during an interview and wondered if he had read it. According to Dr. Walker, Lucas said, quote, "Of course, what do you think the Force is based on?" Right? Let that sink in for you. Why are we so not known? Right? Think about that. Why doesn't everybody know at least the idea of new thought, right? That this power, it's a universal power and presence, and whether you're Luke Skywalker or whoever, that you have the ability to tap in and use it to make your life extraordinary. So I had to share that with you. I think it was pretty amazing. Do you agree? Did anybody know that? I'm curious. Okay. I've actually seen the picture, but I didn't see it blown up as such, so I didn't really pay attention to what was on the bookshelf. Pretty amazing. So last week we began, as I stated before, talking about self-advocacy. So just kind of a reminder, advocacy, for the most part, basic definition is we're speaking up for ourselves, what we believe in, for our rights, and for what we desire. Understanding is not necessarily enough, but that's step one, is to spend that time to be with yourself, quietly to really understand and get clear for yourself what those boundaries, what those comfort zones are. So then the next part is to be able to clearly communicate them to others so that they can be heard. Often if we're in a reactionary thing, we're really defending our boundaries, but we're not being heard because we're reacting, because we don't have that confidence in ourselves to, as Alan's song said, to be worthy. We don't see ourselves as worthy to be able to say, this is what I'm comfortable with. That's a great reading, by the way, Bill, thank you. And as she states, right, it's a process, right? It is a process. And then the other part that we tend to leave out is if we're not sure really what we know, is to seek proper resources and advice from people that we know and respect, or at least I would say respectable sources, so that we can move through that and recognize where our energy our comfort zone begins and ends. So we're not, I guess, in essence, walk around with a damn it book or a damn it diary. So we're kind of doing that on the go. So when we are not advocating for ourselves, in essence, we're not seeing ourselves as worthy, right? We don't have a really high sense of self. In essence, we're really not trusting God, because if we did, we wouldn't have a problem with speaking up for ourselves. Now, Pema Chodron, who we've quote many times, there we go, okay, making sure we're up. She says, the most fundamental aggression, hear that word, aggression to ourselves, the most fundamental harm we can do to ourselves is to remain ignorant by not having the courage and the respect to look at ourselves honestly and gently. And gently. How many of us can be honest with ourselves and then the damn it starts coming after that, right? That's when we need the damn it, damn it, damn it. So we need to be gentle with ourselves. And if we're not willing to do that, then of course that's why we're avoiding taking time to respect ourselves and give us that time to really go within and even talk with a friend about what do you think about this, and then reflect on yourself. Where am I comfortable with that? Where does my boundary begin and end? What am I willing to tolerate and what am I not willing to tolerate with myself? So when we do advocate, we're upholding our boundaries. We're at the same time using that infinite creative power, call it force if you will, call it spirit, that is available to all of us. So we're saying yes to life, to spirit in the process. While we're doing that, and we say yes, and we practice this over and over each and every day, because life will give us plenty of opportunities to practice this, we're strengthening our own confidence and therefore our worth, seeing ourselves more worthy at a deeper level. And something we may not really call to mind is that we're strengthening our very faith. Because when we say, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to trust that I'm worthy, and I'm going to trust that God has my back, and it works out, I feel better. And then I'm kind of like, okay, that worked out. Life supported me for that. And so that's one of the things that we really didn't necessarily get too deep into last week, that once we decide who we are, it's easier to, again, let others clearly know who we are, and in our word and behavior. That's key. Sometimes people will say one thing, and this is what they'll tolerate, and then they may be a doormat. I don't put up with X, Y, and Z, and yet they're getting run over. Maybe it's by their own children or family members. Maybe it's at work, right? I don't know about you, but I have a different set of confidence with my family versus at work, right? And it's all our own judgment in the end. And in essence, is there a difference? Yes and no. It's still all God showing up, and it's still all your individual perspective of what you're seeing and what your expectations are, whether to be supported or not. I want to, this is kind of a longer quote, if we're there. Yes, by Charles Fillmore. It's a little smaller, so I will read it. It says, he says, the idea that faith is something that has to do only with one's religious experience is incorrect. Faith is a faculty of the mind that finds its most perfect expression in the spiritual nature. In order to bring out one's whole character, it should be developed in all its phases. That it is a power is self-evident. People who have faith in themselves achieve far more than those who do not believe in their own ability. We call this self-faith innate confidence. Confidence is a form of faith. Have you ever thought about that way? Confidence is a form of faith. It's a phase, in essence. If you have that confidence in yourself, right? And we're not talking about, and this is kind of the egoic self, it's just me against the world. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about waking up and recognizing that life is happening for you. It was Einstein who, and I will paraphrase, said, we have a decision to make each and every morning to decide whether life is for us or against us. And that will determine how our day goes. So if we're starting with our firm spiritual self grounded, we start off right away with spiritual practices, even if it's just a few breaths in the morning. We're not hopping on our phone, going to our to-do list. We're centering and we're staying our mind. We're recognizing our own boundaries and our expectations and trusting in that life is everywhere present, all-powerful, all-knowing. I, little me, this individualization of spirit doesn't have to know it all because I'm connected to it. It's kind of like the internet, right? In me sitting at my computer, I may not know something. What do I do in that part? Google, internet. Is there an answer that I can get help for? In that state, if it's a question that I need that's going to benefit me, I'm caring for myself. I'm recognizing my boundaries. I'm supporting myself. And the internet, does the internet care what you search for it? Neither does spirit. It's impersonal in that way. It just says yes. Is this what you're looking for? Yes. And it's kind of like a 24/7. It's always open. It's always available in full. And there's nothing that we can bring to it that it will not answer us through us or in our experience. Excuse me. So it's kind of the idea to switch around what Einstein was saying, was this idea is if we have small confidence, a small idea or attitude of self-worth, then our attitude is big problems, little God. We give more power to the problem. Bless you. If we have a greater sense of faith and a greater sense of confidence, then it's a big God and small problems. Because there is really no problem. It's just a matter of time before the answer comes to us or through us, or it's just removed. So our self-confidence, which aligns with our boundaries, okay, is a practice, a spiritual practice and level of faith. So boundaries are also, when we're coming from our sense of self-worth, what we're also doing is expressing self-respect and self-love. Hear that. It's not just about what's right and wrong for me. It's about the level of love that you're willing to be open to and express and respect that in others as well. We're not being exclusive. We're not saying you can't have this and you can't have that. But this is where we need to know where we are at. And when we respect and honor ourselves, then we can offer it to others. As the saying goes, I can't give you something I do not have for myself. We like to believe we can, but we're kind of biased on the view of what we're actually giving. So the other thing we're doing by honoring our own boundaries, other than increasing our faith, is creating that sacred space for ourselves. Right? Think about that. Okay? When I can stand up, and again, the reading was a perfect reading. Again, thank you, Bill. To when we're honoring ourselves and we recognize it may be difficult. We may feel odd. I still do at work sometimes. I say no because I know if I do it, I'm just going to be damning all the rest of the way. And yes, can I get it done? Yes, but is that the answer? Okay, we could do a lot of things, but at what expense? Okay, and here's the other part is, you know what? As I kind of said before, Spirit is kind of infinite, all-powerful, all-knowing. I'm sure there's another way that this person can be helped. Okay? So we're, again, creating that sacred space around ourselves to honor ourselves. And therefore, when we're coming from that sacred environment and holy environment, loving environment, wise environment, grounded in spirit environment, then our interactions with others, not so much of a problem. We're going to come from the highest sense of self that we know of, self with a capital S. of that God universal life spirit, the force, if you will. And people can feel that. I give the example frequently. If somebody comes in that door right now, there's a presence with each one of us, and we're going to feel it. And we're going to kind of feel, in essence, and it's not a judgment of whether you're kind of equal to where we're at. If you're kind of maybe off, you can kind of tell right away, even without facial expression, if they don't know why they walked in here. And some people may be like, wow, just almost lighten the room. And we've all met these people. Those are the people that you want to hang out with. Wow, there's just something about them. But they create that. I like to say, like, we don't roll out of bed that way, because maybe we did one day, but, we take on this thing called life. And we tend to kind of muddy up the golden Buddha, as they say, and we hide that. And then we give our power away to others because we don't want to make them unhappy. And this is really, honestly, a middle school mindset. As an educational counselor, it's amazing how students, and I will say particularly the female students, during the middle school time, will make themselves literally suicidal to please other people. That's out of order. We have to rectify that you are enough, period. You don't have to tell everybody else why you're making a decision if you're taking care of yourself. So the other part is, and just kind of obviously leading up to it, that setting these boundaries, self-advocating, is a spiritual practice. It's part of our spiritual growth. As we create the space necessary for us to practice in, we were welcoming in those resources that I talked about to assist us just naturally. It's as if we don't really have to use our words to say, this is what I'd really like, because we're tapped into our thoughts are God's thoughts. It's not our thoughts and God's thoughts. They're the same. One mind, right? Science of mind. He didn't say science of minds, plural. There's one. So as we take that sacred time to be with ourselves and to have those discussions, and I don't know about you, but I will actually talk out loud to myself. Maybe it's because I'm Italian, I don't know. But I like to hear myself, because I notice that there's times when I talk to other people and then you say something, you're like, whoa, I've never heard myself say that. Now, sometimes they have to point it out to me, but when I give myself that sacred space, like, how do I feel about that? And then I'm going to talk, and I'm going to talk out loud, and I interrupt myself. That's probably not necessarily healthy, as they say in the prisons, but when I used to work in the jail, I cracked up when someone said that, and they were talking to somebody else, but they say, hey, it's okay if you talk to yourself, but just don't interrupt. That's when they come for you. So it's a spiritual practice, right? What I'm trying to say is give yourself permission to be who you are. Hey, look, it's not permanent. We can say, this is my comfort zone today, and then we go through life, and life gives us some experiences to go, you know what? Like, I recognize something. I can be better. And in the moment before service, I shushed Anna as a joke, and Marina kind of took offense to that, explain why, but here's the thing. I never really said I'm sorry to Marina. I just wanted to, I kind of felt a little uncomfortable because that wasn't my intention, but I left it there. So, Marina, I'm sorry that you were offended by my shushing. And I can explain why I did it, but that's not the point. I can say sorry. That's not hard on me. I'm not so insecure with myself that I'm sorry, And they're okay, and we had a good talk about it, but I don't feel complete. So that's my love. Now I feel like I'm back within my boundaries. I kind of felt off somewhere, and I was like, why? Because it's not that I'm going to go out of my way to offend people, but we could say, hey, sorry, I didn't mean it that way, but, justify it. All right, lastly, obviously the whole thing, what we're talking about is when we're good with ourselves, then we're ripe to make healthy relationships with others. Let that sink in, right? There's a beautiful quote, it's just coming to my mind, something like, a lighthouse doesn't run all over the island seeking where to shine. It just stands and shines, something like that, right? So we have that love, that inner light, that pure light within us. It's not about trying to be anybody else, or as they say, it's about being better than we were yesterday, but it's just about being and then acting that out with others. Just be who you are. If it's quirkiness, great. We need that. We need that in the world. It's not about of us all being carbon copies. That's not why we came in. Okay, that's not why there's so many colors and accents and this and that and the other things. Thank you. I don't want to look out and see me every day. Right? That wouldn't be too fun. But I have to be right with me so I can respect me, and then I can respect you. I may not agree with you, but when I'm in my place, when I know who I am and what I am and why I came to serve in this moment, then everything's okay. And if I feel a little off, that's awesome. That's space to grow. Being uncomfortable isn't the end of the world. So, but it's kind of like if we just keep playing that record over and over again and don't grow, hey, that's on us. It's time for some spiritual practices. And that's what we're here for. So when we are able to then clearly and healthily, I don't know if that's a word, but in a healthy way, communicate our values, again, we allow ourselves to honor ourselves in that moment and honor others. And so I have a lot of students. I work at a credit retrieval school, which means they graduate when they're done. They don't have to wait till the end of the year. So for the last month or so, they've been almost every day, kids graduating. And some of them, I'm able to point out, because you're now finished, here is a direct opportunity that you're able to participate in that you were not 10 minutes before you finished that class. So I try to lock into their minds that the work they did, the stuff they did, the frustration and all the anger has now opened this whole thing that you couldn't see before. You weren't, in essence, worthy in that sense of being able to have the opportunity to participate. Now you can. And it starts beginning to add value to what they did and hopefully to who they are. And so we need to do this for ourselves. Other than just a damn it diary, what I like to do is at the end of my day go through and think about all the great things that I'm happy that I was a part of, even if they were challenging. And then I look back at the times, and we can all kind of feel where we were off, that maybe we can do it better. And then go through and take the lesson from it, being gentle, so that tomorrow I could be a better version of who I am. Yes? All right. Let me see where we are. So, I don't want to say unfortunately, because that means I'm judging myself. So one of the stories I wanted to share was boundaries. So growing up, I was bullied quite a bit. I looked different. I wasn't always as big. I was a stick, and I grew up with a cleft palate. So my nose was flat, and I was way more nasal than I am now. So couldn't quite hide from the obvious. And random people would pick on me. So one day I was walking to school, and a kid who I knew lived around the corner, but he was in the grade ahead of me, decided that today was the day that he wanted to start a fight with me. And he was with a large group who was egging him on. I could kind of tell that he really didn't want to. But in the end, I want to say I had ended up either running to school or something, which did not feel good. I wasn't, nor could classify myself as a fighter. So I go to school, ran home as soon as the bell rang, because I knew what he did. I knew his routine, so I was going to run home and avoid that whole mess. Avoidance, resistance. So I get home. You're going to, this age group will find this funny. So I get home, and I'm not telling my mom nothing. And I'm like, nope, been there before. And so I'm watching TV as I always did after high school or after school, and the Brady Bunch was on. Guess what episode was on? The one where Bobby gets a black eye because he got bullied. And even back then, I was like, oh, really? Like, I got to watch this. I'm watching it for 30 minutes, and then his dad goes there and deals. The father's a bully as well. That was the whole funny thing. So I'm like, all right. So I'm like, Mom, here's what happened. And God bless her. So I would say my dad's kind of more the tough guy, and my mom's kind of more the counselor, and I'm in the middle. Not that day. My mom said, what? You ran home? And like, what? And where does he live? I go, he lives right around the corner. He goes, you go to Frank's house. I said his name. Sorry, Frank, I love you. It'll come out. And you go him, and you challenge to fight him right on his front lawn. And I went, what? Like, this is my mom. I'm like, did you just take on Dad's, personality? And so, I'm not arguing with Mom. Went over there and knocked on his door. His mom answered. I said, is Frank home? And she's like, yeah. And she stood there because, I'm not obviously normally over that house. And Frank answered the door, and I said, Frank, this is what you did in the morning. I told my mom. She said, I got to fight you on your front lawn. No lie. That's exactly what I said. Now, his mom sat there and went, you did what? To Frank. Right? Well, no, I was just joking, blah, blah, blah. Now, long story short, we've been best friends since. But was that uncomfortable? Yeah, because I wasn't a fighter. I didn't want to get punched or hurt or whatever else. God forbid I lost, because then I'm going to hear it all the next day at school by everybody and all that. But just standing up, it worked out for. Now, I'm not advocating violence. This is back in the 80s. But it did grow my self-confidence to allow myself to realize, too, that the times when I did choose to fight physically, I never liked it. I hated it. So it's no doubt that through my whole life was, how do I get along better with myself? And how can I point that out to others? Right? Now, by the end of high school, you couldn't get me out of my zone. You couldn't call me a name that I hadn't heard, so I would literally make it up for you. I used to challenge people. So what I'm saying is it was a spiritual practice back then. Would I be the person I am today without all of that? No, I would not. So that's uncomfortable, but so is when I'm at work and having to tell someone something that is a little uncomfortable and share that with them. That's okay too, because afterwards, we're going to feel better. What does that mean? We're in alignment with our true self and our true nature. And that's really the crux of the whole talk today and about sticking up for ourselves. All right. Let me pray here now, because we're going to move into something to honor mothers today. So let me just pray with regards to ending. I don't have a affirmation today, and I did it on purpose because you're going to hear one later. So just join me in prayer. I'm going to close my eyes. And what I'm going to know is affirm that life is truly perfect in this moment. That as we breathe abundance. We breathe in unity. We breathe and recognize that Christ consciousness within us. That we are that. That all things, anything that we want to be, do, or have in this experience is available to us. And there is a way to live comfortably, to live abundantly, to live prosperously. And in that, we practice our spiritual practices. We spend time and commune with ourselves and with God. And in that sacred space, we have that inner conversation about who we believe we are and who we want to be. And what does that look like? And how can we begin to accomplish that? And we recognize that every time we stand up for ourselves first, we are growing in faith because we are trusting in our innate nature, in the force, that it's always on and it's always loving. And so it's loving and gentle with us. We're going to be that way with ourselves. I choose to be gentle with myself. I choose to be honest with myself. I don't require perfection. I am already worthy. And so as I wake up each and every day, I am absolutely grateful and joyful for another opportunity to recognize this creative power within me, share it with others, and recognize it within them, and then recognize it is the only thing that is actually being expressed. Deep love, deep joy. And where I see hurt and trauma, I pray and affirm that God is there too. This month of May, we focus on mental health awareness. And so we recognize everyone, and that there is only one, is whole, is perfect, is complete, the way they are. And anything they do cannot change that. We love, and we love more. And so it is. Thank you. All right, so in the honor, what time is it, please? Perfect. All right, so I'm going to skip a story. I had a story for you. We'll share another time. I want to move into honoring mothers. So what I'm going to ask, Now, when we talk about the word mother, okay, it doesn't mean you have to have had child on that, and in any sense. What I'm going to ask to do, and if you are able, is to all mothers to line up right in front here. If you need assistance, we will help you. Yeah, maybe you're uncomfortable, but it's going to be a beautiful thing. And if you can, and ladies, participate. Okay. Would you, Bill, like to assist, grab that vase? I will grab the other ones. If you need something to hold on, let me know. We have a chair. Not everybody off camera, somebody on camera too. You can block me. I'm in the background. That's fine. I'm just, God forbid, I'm going to speak more. So, the first thing we're going to do is, from our community to you, offer a rose. So you have several colors to choose from. Why don't you start at that end? And so Bill has orange, pink, basically. Yeah, absolutely. We have plenty. So feel free to take 2 colors, if you will. I'm assuming these are thornless. Maybe. Watch yourselves, I guess. Okay. Oh. Okay. Well, we do have some pink coming down. We probably have enough for... There we go. Did you want beautiful roses? Thank you. You're welcome. You're good. You're good. Okay, I come down. Anyone else want any yellow? It looks like you have the other colors. There you go. Yellow? We have plenty. You're welcome. I'm Reverend Joe. Who are you? I'm Nania. Nania. Beautiful name. You're good? All right. See, that's why I asked. We have a lot. Enough for the gentleman. Did Marina? You could take a second. Hey, Christy. If you guys can participate, ladies, please over here. And this is a very simple. I'm gonna, you know what, Ellen, would you maybe play lightly in the background for us? So the first thing I'm going to do, what was that? Oh, where is mine? There we go. Yep, you're fine. Yep, you're fine, ladies. Let me just move back. There we go. We're good. Okay. All right. Okay. So, make sure I'm a little higher, please. So, something I want to reflect on mothers. Just go ahead and take this in, ladies. Mothers as expressions of divine love. In religious science, God or Spirit is seen as infinite love and intelligence. Mothers, through their nurturing and unconditional love, unconditional care, and emotional support, are seen as the human expression of this divine love in action. And there we go. Mothers as creative channels of life. Religious science teaches that creation begins in the mind and manifests through form. Mothers are honored as sacred because they literally bring life into form, making them co-creators with the divine. The feminine aspect of God. Many metaphysical teachings recognize both masculine and feminine aspects of the divine. Mothers often represent the divine feminine, qualities like compassion, intuition, receptivity, and healing, which are central to spiritual wholeness. Sacred service and selflessness. In religious science, service to others is a sacred act. The day-to-day sacrifices and acts of care by mothers are seen as service to the divine, since caring for another is an act of honoring spirit within them. And lastly, mothers as teachers of spiritual principles. Mothers often model faith, forgiveness, gratitude, and perseverance, core principles in religious science. By teaching and living these truths, they act as our spiritual guides. Okay. Hold on. I'm not done. I'm just trying to find my... No. Am I missing a page? 1, 2. There we go. Okay, sorry. So that should be here. Just take it in, ladies. This is your moment. Yeah, I'm out of order. Okay. So, what I'm going to ask the rest of us to do, I'm going to assume we're going to line up in front of each of you and walk down. And we're going to say together, thank you for all you have given to life. So whoever would like to participate, please do so. And this is when you can play there, Ellen. Thank you. Anna, thank you for all that you have given to life. Thank you for all that you have given to life. Just scare her out of here. Thank you for all that you have given to life. Thank you for all that you have given to life. Thank you, Diane, for all that you have given to life. Barb, thank you for all that you have given to life. Trilby, thank you for all that you have given to life. Hi, Tony, thank you for all that you have given to life. Julie, thank you for all that you have given to life.
I love to do it.
So it is. Sue, thank you for all that you have given to life. Christy, thank you for all that you have given to life. Marina, thank you for all that you have given to life. Yes, you may sit down or be seated, ladies, once you're done. All right. Breathe that in. Yes. Thank you, Ellen. I am complete. Thank you. Thank you to all the mothers. And we'll get on with announcements. Oh, actually, I'm going to start with the first one because we forgot. And where is my phone? You have my phone? Yeah, but I don't have a phone. So anyway, there's a blue phone floating around somewhere. So something we forgot to add to the slide, but I did mention last week. The next 2 Tuesdays, the 13th and the 20th, it'll be online, but I am welcoming everybody, whether you know what it is or not, to participate in visioning for our center. Okay, it'll probably take roughly an hour. We'll open with prayer. I'll kind of give you a short idea of what's going to happen, and then it basically, as we meditate, we respond to answers, and then then we, what we call harvest the answers. We collect them all. And so the purpose of visioning, real quickly, is the idea of allowing Spirit to show to us maybe a path that we're not aware of. So we open ourselves to be channels to the divine. It is a Zoom link that will be out in the newsletter. So please look, if you want to participate, to do that. It's happening at 6:30 Mountain Time, 5:30 Pacific Time. Any questions? It is on the calendar on the website. Correct. Yes. Thank you very much. Excellent. I'm going to let Bill take over.
All right. And for those of you at home wondering why I'm standing sideways instead of looking at the the audience, the monitor that I would normally read the announcements off is dead because of the power outage today. So I'm going to turn this way a little bit. So we appreciate any sharing of abundance that you do with the center. There's several ways that you can do that. One is through Zelle, which is a bank-to-bank system. You can give online and scan the QR code.
Real quick, I don't know if this is happening for everybody, but if you normally give by Zelle, there's a number of banks that have stopped in March using Zelle. So you might want to make sure that if that's what you use on automatic, that it's going through. I don't know why, I'm not going to look into it, but there's a number of banks that just stopped allowing that to happen. So kind of a bummer, but we still have multiple ways, and we thank you.
Yeah, and if that does happen, you can also drop us a check in the mail, and snail mail, and you can find all this on our website. And as a offering affirmation, I invite you to repeat with me the following. I am overflowing with love and abundance. I give from the source of my being, which is rich and unlimited. With joy and excitement, I share from this overflow. In return, the universe gives back to me in infinite ways, channels, and means. And so it is.
At this point, we welcome you to make your offering if you're in person. We recognize that some people do it online. We practice the law of giving and receiving. So there are affirmation cards over at the bowl to my right, your left. So even if you've already given, please feel free to go up and take an affirmation card, use it, practice it, and then pass it along. And we'll give ourselves a couple minutes with more music by Alan to do so. Okay. Bill, you want to bless today? Do you want to do the blessing?
A slide for this?
Yes, we do.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. I am only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free and in spirit. Yes, I am only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. I am only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I am only here for God. I am free in the Spirit. I am only here for God.
So I bless this offering in the name of the good that it is done in, and the good that it goes forward and toward the future of Centers for Spiritual Living St. George, and in the spirit of circulation and supporting the law of circulation, I bless this offering, and so it is.
Well,
I thought there was one.
That's not really an announcement, is it? There will be no Zoom conversation today. Our next in-person service is the 25th of May. Overcoming Silence, Individual and Collective Liberation. Details in the newsletter and on the website. Prayer requests. Myself and other practitioners are available to take your prayer requests. Just hit the website and you'll see our picture in the About page. Click on one of those and an email link will come up, and just send us an email. If any of the practitioners or ministers get an email, it is shared amongst all of us, so you get the prayer benefit from all of us. So that's how that works. Upcoming next week, we have Reverend Joe Kovach, Negotiating Peace, Conflict, Reconciliation, and Transformation. Are you going to be doing that from like Israel or? Okay. And then May 25th, in person, here, Overcoming Silence, Individual and Collective Liberation, with Reverend Rachel. All right, Alan's going to take us out with a Shea Barlow classic.
we're going to overcome some silence here. It's a new day. Today it's a new life. My way. The doubts, they are no match for me. I take my faith and fly because I know that I am creating my own destiny. The past is gone, it has no power here. I'm a mighty voice in spirit's atmosphere. So I choose to grow, yes, I choose to thrive. This longing will not be denied. It's a new day, today it's a new life. My way, the doubts, they are no match for me. I take my faith and fly because I know that I am creating my own destiny. But here right now I claim that I am whole. There is nothing else that I need to know. So I affirm my worth, yes, I'm deserving of God's goodness abounding in love. It's a new day, today it's a new life. My way, the doubts, they are no match for me. I take my faith and fly because I know that I am creating my own destiny. As I believe it, so it will be.
For refreshments in the back, thank you one and all. Have a blessed week.